When my neighbor pounded on my door at 3 a.m. saying, "Pack a bag. You need to leave," I thought he'd lost his mind. Half asleep, confused, and frightened inside. But when he shoved his phone in my face and said, "You have 10 minutes," I saw something that made my blood run cold. A sharp dread settled deep inside. My hand started shaking uncontrollably then. 5 minutes later, I understood why he risked everything to save my life. My heart finally caught the truth. Name is Nina Hartley. I'm 29 years old and I work as a veterinary technician in Boise, Idaho. I've always loved animals deeply. Helping them feels like purpose. The man who knocked on my door that night was Daniel Foster, my 62-year-old neighbor who lived right next to me. Quiet, reserved, and observant. We weren't close friends, just the kind of neighbors who wave hello and sometimes chat about the weather. Polite smiles, brief conversations only. That night, he became the reason I'm still alive. Turned unexpected guardian. Before we get into this story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I'd love to know. Your support truly means everything. I moved to Maple Street 3 years ago, right after I finished vet school. Exhausted but hopeful. I wanted somewhere quiet, somewhere peaceful, where I could just breathe and build my life on my own terms. Somewhere untouched by chaos. The neighborhood was perfect for that. Almost unreal. Small houses with big yards, families who'd lived there for decades. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone, and crime is basically non-existent. Rare these days. It felt safe. It felt like home. My house was a small 2-bedroom with white siding and a blue front door. Modest but comforting. I lived alone except for my 2 rescue cats, Pepper and Storm. My constant companions. Pepper is this grumpy orange tabby who hates everyone except me, constantly, judging silently. And Storm is a tiny black cat who thinks she's a guard dog. Fierce, loyal and fearless. They were my whole world my family. My life was simple and routine, intentionally that way. I'd wake up at 6 a.m. Feed the cats, drive to the animal clinic where I worked from 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. long but fulfilling hours. Most days were good, helping animals, assisting with surgeries, calming down worried pet owners. Moments mattered. I'd come home tired but satisfied, make dinner, take an evening walk around the neighborhood, and usually be in bed by 10 p.m. Consistent, quiet endings. It was predictable, maybe even boring to some people, but I loved it. Stability felt earned. After growing up in a chaotic house with an alcoholic father and a mother who left when I was 12, predictable felt like a gift. Something precious. My older sister Vanessa lives in Portland now. Distance changed us. She's got her own life, a good job, a fiancé. She's planning to marry next summer. I'm proud of her. We video chat every Sunday without fail. She's the only family I really have left, even though we're 4 hours apart. Still, she's my best friend always. Daniel Foster lived next door, directly next to mine, only maybe 30 feet from my bedroom window. He was a retired firefighter, spent 30 years running into burning buildings to save people. His wife Ruth died from cancer 4 years ago, and you could tell he still missed her every single day. His house was always perfect. Lawn mowed in straight lines, American flag flying proudly from the porch. Everything neat and organized like you'd expect from someone with his background. Daniel and I had friendly but distant relationship between us. He'd bring me tomatoes during the summer, huge red ones that tasted better than anything from the grocery store nearby. I'd check on him during bad winter storms, making sure he had food and hadn't slipped on ice outside. Once we'd chat for maybe 5 minutes at a time, talk about the weather or neighborhood gossip, then quietly return home to our separate lives alone. That was it. We weren't really close friends who shared dinners or secrets, just respectful and decent neighbors. The night everything finally changed was Tuesday during late September. I worked a painfully long shift. At clinic, that exhausting day, we had a golden retriever come in after car impact, and the surgery felt intense. It's complicated, stressful, emotionally draining too. I got home around 6 p.m. feeling completely worn out. Every muscle ached badly then. I fed Pepper and Storm, heated leftover pasta quietly, and collapsed straight onto couch. By 9:30 p.m., I was already in bed, exhausted enough to sleep instantly. I remember that night clearly. It felt unusually silent outside. No cars passing nearby, no dogs barking anywhere. Just peaceful and heavy silence. The kind of night making. You feel grateful living there. For safety.com surroundings. A truly good neighborhood feeling. I fell asleep thinking, thankfully, about how lucky I was. I had no idea then that in less than hours, everything I believed about safety was about to be shattered. I was ripped from sleep by someone pounding my door. Not knocking gently, pounding hard. My bedroom stayed dark inside, my brain foggy with sleep. I grabbed my phone quickly. The bright screen burned eyes. 3:17 a.m. glared back. Who was at my door at 3:17 in morning? The pounding continued relentlessly, urgent and wildly frantic sounding, like someone trying to break straight through solid wood. My first thought turned fearful. Something terrible must have happened. Maybe Daniel suffered heart attack or fell downstairs badly. Maybe there was a fire. I threw off my blankets, grabbed robe, ran through darkness toward the front door. Pepper and Storm scattered instantly, startled by noise and movement. My hands shook as I checked the peephole. Was Daniel standing there? He stood wearing pajama pants, a jacket over t-shirt, no shoes, just slippers. His face looked pale, covered completely in sweat. Despite cool September air, something felt very wrong. I unlocked the deadbolt slowly and pulled door open. Before I could even ask, Daniel stepped forward quickly, grabbing my arm gently, firmly. Listen to me carefully now. You need to pack immediately. Just essentials, clothes, phone, documents. Anything you cannot lose, you need to leave within the next 10 minutes. His voice shook with fear, but his eyes stayed serious. I stared at him, frozen. Nothing he said made sense. Daniel was always stable, the most reasonable man I knew. 30 years as firefighter meant he never panicked easily, never overreacted to situations. Yet here he stood now, at 3 a.m., telling me to leave home. What was happening here? Daniel, what are you saying? It's 3 in the morning. What is going on? I felt confused and scared. Not of danger outside, but of him standing there. Was this a mental breakdown? Had grief over Ruth finally caught him after years? I don't have time, he said, voice cracking urgently. Please, you have to trust me. You are in danger. Serious danger right now. You need to leave immediately. I stepped back inside, putting distance between us. My thoughts raced wildly through *H possibilities. Early dementia. Psychotic episode, maybe. Had he stopped medications? Daniel, you're scaring me badly. You're not making sense. Are you feeling okay? Do you need help? Maybe your sister right now. Sterisk. His face twisted with frustration and something resembling genuine fear. I'm not crazy, Nina. I'm not sick. I'm not confused. You are in immediate danger, and if you don't leave this house within 10 minutes, something terrible will happen to you very soon. Believe me, the way he spoke, then the absolute certainty in voice made my crawling skin recoil. I started slowly closing door. I think you should go home, Daniel, tonight, please. Now we can talk about this in the morning when calmer, maybe call your doctor together. He shoved foot-blocking doorway. Wait, just wait, listen first. He fumbled with his phone, hands shaking, nearly dropping it. Look at this, please, Nina. Just look at my phone, Raise screen toward face, I saw a message thread, the contact name crushed stomach, Kyle Hammond, my ex. My vision blurred briefly, then Kyle had been inside prison, he was locked another year. I forced focus on messages displayed on Daniel's screen. There they were, timestamped from tonight, most recent, sent 30 minutes ago, exactly before this moment, is she home, first text. Someone replied, yeah, lights out around 9:30. Then Kyle, you're watching, correct house address to 847 Maple Street. Response said, parked nearby silver Honda, 2 houses down, her car sits driveway now. Then Kyle sent final message, perfect, I'll arrive 20 minutes. Don't let her leave tonight. My legs suddenly went weak. I grabbed frames, staying upright. That address was my address. Someone watched my house. Now Kyle was coming here tonight. How do you have messages? Who sent these to you? Daniel spoke barely above whisper. Kyle is my nephew, Nina, my sister's son. He said I never knew your history until 30 minutes earlier tonight when these texts arrived suddenly. He doesn't know I live right next door beside you. He meant texting his friend, watching your house outside. Now he typed wrong number, accidentally, off by just 1 digit. He texted me mistakenly instead. Those words hung between us. Kyle was Daniel's nephew, revealed the man who stole clinic, who bruised my arm angrily, who screamed threats through window, was related to my neighbor, and he was coming now. Daniel saw panic spreading. Fast, he grabbed both my shoulders, looked directly into my eyes. I know this, overwhelming Nina. I know you're terrified, but we don't have time to process this right now, please. He said 20 minutes within that message, sent half an hour earlier already. He could pull up any time to your house any second now. We need to move. Something in his urgent voice, the urgency mixed with care and genuine concern, snapped me out of frozen shock state. I turned and ran toward my bedroom fast, my bare feet slapping loudly against the hardwood floor inside. My hands were shaking badly, so badly I could barely grip anything I touched. I yanked open my dresser, drawers, and started grabbing clothes without looking once at what I was taking. Jeans, shirts, underwear, socks, everything went into the duffel bag. I kept ready in my closet. Daniel followed me inside and checked. I heard him checking windows, the windows in my living room, looking out carefully at the street. His firefighter training was kicking in assessing exits and threats. Threats like he'd done countless 1,000 times before. Already, is there a back way out of this house? He called to me. My voice came out strangled and high-pitched. The sliding glass door in the kitchen goes to the backyard outside. I was moving on autopilot. Now my brain racing, trying to catch up fast with what was happening. Suddenly, I grabbed my laptop quickly off my desk, my charger. It's a small lockbox box from under my bed that held important documents, birth certificate and passport. Inside, what else did I need? What do you take with when you're fleeing your home in the night? Middle of the night, suddenly, where's your car? Daniel asked from the hallway, urgently, in the driveway. The front driveway. The words had barely left my mouth when I realized problem. The problem, if someone was watching my house nearby from 2 houses down street. They'd see me leaving instantly. I tried to get there to my car. They'd see me leaving. Daniel must have realized too immediately, because he cursed under his breath. Okay, new plan. You'll take my truck. It's parked in my garage. We can get there through the backyard. There's a gate connecting. In the fence that connects our properties. I looked around my bedroom, frantically. What else? My cats. I couldn't leave behind. Pepper and Storm. I grabbed their carrier from the closet and started chasing Pepper, hood hidden under the bed. The moment the chaos started tonight. Come on, Pepper, please. Now, not now, I begged, desperately reaching under the bed frame. Storm was easier, luckily letting me scoop her quickly up and place her inside in the carrier. Pepper finally gave up fighting me, and I managed to get both cats secured inside. Then we heard it suddenly, a car door slamming outside close, very close, nearby. Daniel moved to my window and carefully pulled back the edge slightly of the curtain, just an inch. His entire body went rigid. "There's a truck in your driveway. Someone just got out." His voice had dropped to barely a whisper. The blood drained from my face. My phone buzzed in my hands, suddenly making me jump so hard I nearly dropped it. A text message appeared from a number I didn't recognize, lit up my screen. "I know you're in there, Nina. Tonight we need to talk now. Open the door." It said it was Kyle. He was outside my house right now, standing on property. Daniel turned toward me, face pale yet completely determined. "Go right now, Nina. Move. Kitchen, back door, through yard. Straight to my garage quickly. Move now, no hesitation, please." I grabbed my duffel bag, my purse, cat carrier, and ran without looking back. My sock-covered feet slid across cold kitchen tile badly. I fumbled desperately with lock on the sliding glass door. My hands refused to work properly, slipping off latch repeatedly. Behind me, heavy footsteps sounded on my front porch suddenly. Then pounding, aggressive, angry pounding that shook my front door. "Nah, open up right now. I just want to talk." "I know you're home, Nina." Kyle's voice echoed through rooms. That same voice, once gentle, now twisted, dark, threatening, sharp. The lock finally gave way, and I slid door open. Daniel was right behind me, pushing me into backyard darkness. We ran hard across grass toward fence, separating properties quickly. I barely saw where going, stumbling over uneven ground blindly. The cat carrier banged painfully against my leg, repeatedly running. Behind us, breaking glass exploded, shattering the silence violently loud. Kyle smashed through front window. He was inside my house. We were completely out of time. Daniel fumbled with gate latch in darkness, hands shaking badly. The sound of Kyle moving through my house carried clearly. Furniture scraping loudly, his voice calling my name, angrier now. "Nah, I know you're here. Stop playing games, Nina, now." The gate finally swung open and we stumbled into yard. He grabbed my elbow firmly, guiding me toward garage entrance. My lungs burned, arms aching from carrier and duffel weight. Inside, Carrier, Pepper, and Storm were yowling, terrified and loud. Their cries sounded impossibly loud in the quiet night air. Daniel unlocked garage door fast and practically shoved me inside. The overhead light flickered on, revealing old red pickup truck, parked directly in the center. He dug into jacket pocket and pulled out keys quickly, pressed them into my palm. "Drive straight to police station on Jefferson Street right now. Don't stop for anything ever. Not red lights, stop signs, nothing at all. Just go." I stared at keys, shaking, then at Daniel's face, panicked. "What about you, Daniel, please? You need to come with me." He was already pulling phone, thumb hovering emergency call button. "I'm calling 911 right now. I'll tell them everything immediately. I'll give them text messages. Tell them Kyle broke inside, but you need to go." I threw my bags inside passenger seat without thinking twice, sat cat carrier on floor, and climbed behind the wheel. My hands were shaking badly, barely fitting key ignition. The engine roared loudly alive, sounding deafening inside garage. Daniel hit the garage button, and door began crawling upward. "Keep your headlights off, please, until you're down the street," he instructed, talking to operator. "Yes, this is emergency dispatch. There's a break in progress at 2847 Maple Street." I put the truck in reverse, my foot trembling on the brake pedal, through Daniel's garage door opening. I could see across yards to my house clearly now. My front door stood wide open, light spilling onto porch. As I backed slowly out of the garage, I saw Kyle emerge outside from my house, moving quickly toward his truck nearby fast. He had not seen me. He checked his phone nervously, probably texting his watching friend, the one assigned observing nearby. I reversed into streets, slowly turned wheels sharply around, fast pressed hard down gas pedal. The truck lurched forward suddenly. That was when Kyle's head snapped upward, instantly noticing me. Our eyes met briefly, there across distance between us. Silently, his face lit porch-like glow. I saw recognition flash quickly across his tense features suddenly. Then anger followed immediately after he began running toward truck, pointing at me, screaming wildly. Words I could not hear. I slammed accelerator. Down hard. Daniel's truck shot forward, recklessly racing down Maple Street, dangerously much faster than safety allowed. I truly did not care. The corner came quickly ahead. I took turn to fast tires, screamed loudly, protesting asphalt. My phone sat. Cup holder, glowing, lighting up, incoming messages constantly. I refused to look back. I knew they were Kyle's in rearview mirror. Suddenly, headlights peered behind me, quickly closing my heart. Completely stopped beating. Was it him already following? Had he reached truck that fast enough to chase me? The headlights drew nearer rapidly. I pushed gas harder, desperately blew straight through stop sign. At next dark intersection ahead, my entire body trembled violently. Pepper and Storm cried inside. From carrier behind seats together, I wanted to cry badly, but tears would not fall. I had to focus, driving on, escaping to safety alive. Jefferson Street appeared ahead suddenly. I recognized police station instantly. Low brick building, glowing bright. Bright lights, patrol cars waiting. I swerved into lot hard so fast, nearly crashing vehicle into a parked car nearby. An officer stood outside entrance, holding warm coffee cups. Surprised, he looked up, startled suddenly as I skidded, stopping abruptly. I fell from truck, shaking. "Help me, please, help me," I gasped, barely standing upright, my legs almost collapsing beneath. My ex-boyfriend broke inside. Into my house earlier tonight. He has been watching me. He was there tonight, waiting. He is following me now. The officer changed instantly, demeanor from shock to focused professionalism. He grabbed his radio quickly, requesting backup at station immediately. Possible domestic violence situation unfolding, suspect may be en route nearby. He placed hand, shoulder gently guiding me toward entrance doors. "Ma'am, you are safe now. Come inside, tell everything calmly." I glanced back street, terrified, expecting Kyle's truck appearing behind, but nothing followed us. There only empty pavement, lights glowing. Inside station, reality blurred completely, fluorescent lights, endless questions echoed. I sat, small room, shaking, wrapped in borrowed blanket, tightly, my voice raw, broken, trembling from talking, crying, fear combined. Another officer entered quietly, gently, a woman with kindness, eyes, and soft, calming voice. Reassuring, she explained. Units dispatched immediately to Maple Street location already. They had Daniel's call recorded, all details, texts, messages saved. 10 minutes later, radio crackled with an urgent update incoming. They arrested Kyle there tonight at my property address. Safely, he was still inside house when police arrived, suddenly searching, ransacking my bedroom, frantically, alone, looking everywhere for me desperately. They also detained Brett nearby, sitting in silver Honda, waiting exactly where texts described. Location 2 houses down, watching quietly. When searching Kyle's truck later, they found disturbing supplies, hidden zip ties, duct tape bundled, and hunting knife stored inside and bag behind seat driver. The detective told me calmly, his face grim, expression hardened. "Ms. Hartley, based on what we found and the messages on Mr. Foster's phone, we have reason to believe Kyle was planning to abduct you tonight. If you'd been in that house when he broke in, we'd be having a very different conversation right now." Kyle Hammond was charged with attempted kidnapping, first-degree burglary, stalking, criminal mischief, and violating parole. His accomplice, Brett Lawson, received charges as accessory to attempted kidnapping and criminal conspiracy. The prosecutor on my case was a woman named Jennifer Ross. They sat me down 3 days after that night and explained everything they'd uncovered. Kyle had been released from prison 2 months earlier, not the year I believed remained. He got out early for good behavior, feeling like cruel joke played by the world. The moment he was free, he started planning immediately. He somehow tracked my new address, spending weeks watching routine learning my schedule down to the exact minute daily. He knew when I left for work, when I returned, which nights I took walks, every detail of my life. Brett had been his cellmate in prison, and Kyle convinced him to help with money he never actually possessed. The hunting knife found inside Kyle's truck had my name carved directly into the handle. When detectives showed me photo during one statement session, I threw up beside her desk. I couldn't return to my house after that night, thinking about entering again, seeing broken glass and window, knowing Kyle searched for me, made my skin crawl badly. My sister Vanessa drove down from Portland the next morning. She helped me pack everything I owned without asking questions. She didn't say I overreacted. She simply showed up silently and filled boxes while I sat crying on the floor. Daniel helped too, lifting furniture into the moving truck quietly. His face showed heavy guilt, even though none was deserved. We barely spoke during hours, but understanding passed through glances. He saved my life, and we both knew how close I came to disappearing forever. I found a new apartment across town inside secured building. Cameras in every hallway watched. A doorman checked identification carefully. Deadbolts secured every single door. It cost more than affordable, but I didn't care anymore. Safety became worth any price. The trial happened 4 months later. I sat inside that courtroom and looked directly at Kyle. The prosecutor presented all evidence. Text messages, weapons, carved knife, testimony from Brett describing plans. Kyle's lawyer claimed misunderstanding. Said Kyle wanted closure only. Said the knife was protection. The jury did not believe. They saw zip ties, duct tape, they heard 911 recordings clearly. They saw photos of damage inside my house from searching. The judge sentenced Kyle to 15 years in state prison, no parole possibility for 10. Brett received 6 years total. When verdict was finally read, I felt like breathing again. Daniel attended every single day of the trial. Asterisk sitting in the back row, quietly. His sister Kyle's mother didn't speak to him anymore. She accused him bitterly. Then of betraying family loyalty, of choosing stranger over son. Daniel's response was simple and emotionally devastating then. I raised Kyle like my own after father left. I loved that boy deeply, but the person who broke into Nena's house that night wasn't nephew I once knew growing. That was a predator, and I won't apologize for stopping him completely. Daniel and I now have dinner together Sundays. Every single Sunday night, he's teaching me how to grow tomatoes properly in containers. On balcony of my apartment, now I'm teaching him how to video chat better with his Boston so they can talk more often. We don't talk much about that night anymore, but it's always there between us, silently present, the unspoken. Knowledge of what almost happened then and what didn't happen, because one man saw a wrong number text and chose to act. Last month, I went back to Maple Street for the first time since moving out. Finally, a young family lives in my old house now, with a toddler who plays front yard where Kyle once stood calling my name loud. I sat in car for a while, staring, just looking at it, remembering the girl. Who thought she was safe there back then alone? She wasn't naive, really, just trusting by nature, and that's okay, truly. The world needs trust to function properly. Always what she needed then was someone watching her. She got that in the most unexpected way imaginable that night. Here's what I want everyone watching this understand. Danger doesn't always announce itself with obvious warnings. Sometimes it comes from people you once loved. People you believed gone from your life forever. Kyle had been planning this for many months while I lived routine completely unaware of. Danger, I'd convinced myself I was safe because he was supposed in prison still. Because years had passed, because surely he'd moved on with his life, but obsession doesn't work on logic or timelines. Festers and grows and waits opportunity patiently. The only reason I'm here telling this story is because a text message went wrong number and a neighbor chose to act, not ignore. Daniel didn't have to knock on my door that terrifying night alone. He could have called police and stayed distant, avoided painful family drama and complicated emotional fallout. But he saw someone in danger and acted immediately, without hesitation. That decision, those minutes of action, saved my life completely, undeniably, forever. I think about version of this story where Kyle's text went right number reaching his friend instead of Daniel first. I'd probably be missing person case cold file. Another woman who vanished from her home silently in middle of night while neighbors slept peacefully next door, unaware. Forever. If this story affected you, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a comment telling me what you think. Your support means everything to me. Asterisk, trust the people who show up for you in crisis. Listen, when someone tells you you're in danger, even then, if it sounds crazy still, even if it comes at 3 a.m. from someone you barely know, and if you ever get that gut feeling that something's wrong, don't dismiss it. I'd spent weeks feeling watched and uncomfortable, brushing it off as paranoia. It wasn't paranoia, it was my body trying to warn me about a threat my conscious mind hadn't identified. Yet Daniel Foster is 62 years old, a retired firefighter who spent his career saving people from fires. That night, he saved me from something far worse than anything flames ever threatened before. He's not a hero because he's extraordinary. He's a hero because when the moment came, he chose action over comfort, stranger over family, right over easy. We all have that choice when we see someone in danger. I hope you'll make the same one he did. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe out.